Hello, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to the Deep Life Bible Church Singles channel. If you're new here, you're welcome to this wonderful family of young Christians talking about relationship, asking questions, and trying to learn, and contributors that are also here to help answer all the questions that young people have before they get married. And so if you're new here, do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell below so that you can be um, alerted whenever we bring in new videos. For old subscribers and all those people who are already part of the family, you're very, very, very welcome again to another video. And today we're going to be talking about courtship. Uh, Courtship is an old-fashioned word. It's been there for centuries and centuries, and it dates back all the way to the 16th century. It's a word that assumes that two people are coming together to discuss, to talk, and to know each other, to understand one another in view of getting married. Okay, so these two people who love each other, uh, it's a time of meeting one another, talking to one another, understanding, well, not understanding per se, because you can never understand somebody before you get married to them, but you can begin to learn each other's character, learn each other's ways somewhat, to some extent. So two people who want to get married, or people who want to spend the rest of their lives with one another, they love each other, and they will eventually get married. They will. Just not every courtship leads to marriage. Some courtship don't lead to marriage. They get broken, and the both parties will go their separate ways. So that's why we say it would, it will. We're not sure. It's in the future, and it's left to the both people to decide if they're going to eventually get married. So the word is indeed, as I said, it's a very, very old-fashioned word, and it's two decent people who are meant to pay court. They're paying court. They're courting each other. Most times it's the man that courts the woman, and the woman behaves, well, the way a would-be bride would do, still trying to discover her man, trying to understand this person that is professing to love her. And they have the intention of getting married. They are not there to play around. They're not there to trial, or to test the waters. They want to get married. That is what courtship is all about. Now, today we go straight into the reason for this video. The content of this video today is what questions should you be asking this person that you intend to marry? Okay, so there's a lot of questions, and if you're part of the Deeper Life Bible Church, we will say that the marriage committee gives you a kind of manuscript or transcript or guidelines helping you with the kind of common questions that they expect you to ask, discussions topic that they want you, or they help you, because sometimes you may not know all the kind of things that are so important that you need to be addressed, or that need to be addressed by the both of you before you get married. So the marriage committee gives you those guidelines. It doesn't mean that it's a box and you must remain in that box. They are just guidelines, points that you can go through. And then if there are more questions that come to mind, to light, you should be asking those questions. One of the questions that you should be asking, and that many people forget to ask, is, are you in debt? It's very important to know if your partner is indebted, to know if this person has loans that they've taken for school, because out here, in Europe, in Northern America, in the United States, and in some other part of the world, you can take a loan to go to school, okay? But it's very important for your partner to know how much loan you've got, how much school loans you've got, okay? It helps for the air to be clear and for all the parties to know how much they are or she's expecting or he's expecting to be an amount that might be going out of one of the couple's purse on a monthly basis. Because of course, after you take a loan from school, the banks want you to pay back the loan, and whoever the lender is, they'll expect you to pay back what you have taken. As soon as you get a job, you have a bond, and that kind of it's an agreement between you and your lender that you're going to be paying such and such amount on a monthly basis or on a bi-weekly basis. Depends on the agreement that you've had. So it's very important that your partner gets to know what debts you have so that you don't get into the marriage and you're surprised and you're like, what? You have this much, you have $50,000, you have $60,000, you have $100,000 of loan. I didn't know about that. How come? Very important, very important. Ask those questions. And please, whoever is asked, be kind enough to answer sincerely. Start your marriage with an open book. Everything plain, nothing hidden, so that nobody gets into the marriage surprised. And how much is the debt? Not only are you in debt, oh yes, I'm in debt, I have some loans to pay, and that's it. No. Clearly state how much is the money that you're owing. Look into the finances. I've heard of a lot of people who assume that their partner, that their husband, that their wife has such and such amount in his or her bank account, or is getting this much of a salary at the end of the month or at the end of 2 weeks. But they get into the marriage and realize that it's not what they thought it is. It's okay to ask yourself, how much do you earn? And it's good for planning purposes. So both of you can plan and you can know what your budget will be on a monthly basis. Keeping in mind that there are a lot of expenses. After you get married, you become much more responsible. And sometimes you have aged parents that you need to help. And that brings me to another topic of in-laws. In-laws. Ask questions about where will the in-laws live. Like, so you find some people who, young men or young ladies, have their parents who live with them because they cater for these people. You need to clarify and know what's going to happen with the in-laws. Not only parents, not so many cases of parents living with children, but there are lots and lots of cases of siblings living with their big brother or their big sister. You need to talk about what's going to happen after our marriage. Are these people still going to live with us? And for how long? These are very important topics that needs to be trashed. They can cause a lot of troubles in marriages. I'm talking to you from experience. There's lots of interference that these people come in. Like, you start hearing things about you at the family level that wouldn't have gone out if these people were not taking the news back home. Sometimes because of his brother that lives with him or his sister that lives with him, your spouse might not be able to be the best of themselves. Marriage, young couples that have come together newly need to understand each other. They need to know each other. They need to learn each other. And that's why it's very important that at the beginning of your marriage, at least for the first 1 year of your marriage, nobody lives with you. That way, you can flex all your muscles. You can be as romantic as you can be without fear of a prying eye or fear of trying to be careful because of your in-laws, your brothers, your sisters that live in the home with you. That's why it's very important to discuss Clearly, not brushing it under the carpet, but clearly, don't mind hurting one another's feelings. You have to say it as clear as is. Tell him what you think. Tell her what your stand is in regards to in-laws living in your new home. Who is going to live with us? And how long is this person going to live with us? How much money are we going to be sending to our in-laws? Please, brothers and sisters, discuss this issue. This is a very important topic that causes a lot of trouble because the man thinks that, no, I have to send this much to my family members and you have no right to tell me otherwise. I have to send this much to my family members. That's how we have been doing it. And you can't just come tomorrow and tell me otherwise. This can cause a very big rift between young couples. That's why I advise that you discuss this issue. How much money will you be sending to your father, to your mother, to your siblings, to your cousins? To some people have people that they sponsor. They have people that they take care of who are not even really related to them, but they've taken it upon themselves to take care of these people. Please discuss this and come to an agreement so that everybody understands. And you can also discuss and maybe adjust your expenditure because now you're starting a new home. Maybe a baby will come in the way. Will come. Well, in the first year of their marriage, most couples get babies. Babies are expensive. So you need to readjust. The things that you did before you got married, you might have to rethink them, to discuss them, to reevaluate them, and know if you're going to continue in that way or if you need to re-strategize. Okay, so talk about those topics. What about career? Where do you want to be in life? What do you want to achieve in life? You have to discuss that. If you're somebody who wants to have a PhD and you're just maybe working for the time being because you are saving money towards going for your master's degrees and your PhD degree, you need to discuss this with your spouse to be. Tell him your dreams. I intend to have a PhD. Tell her your dreams. I intend to be an attorney. I intend to take a law degree. I intend to become a medical doctor, even though I have a certificate in microbiology right now or a certificate in biochemistry. I still want to go on to become a medical doctor because that has always been my dream. And I think that is where God is leading me to. Please and please let your partner know where you're going career-wise. And please, don't kill anyone when one another's dream. Some people are dream killers. Please, the fact that you're getting married to this person does not give you the authority or does not give you the right or does not give you the prerogative to just yank their dream away. Ask your spouse. Most times it's the woman. Women don't just make rules like that. It's the men that make those kind of rules sometimes. Please don't stop this woman from achieving her dream. Someone said, happy wife, happy life. So if you help your wife achieve her dream, you are definitely helping yourself. Because when she becomes better, when she gets to the peak of her career, it's going to be helpful to the both of you in that marriage and to the home at large. So please, let us not cut short the dreams of our partners. Let us help them to achieve their dream. Let us work hand in hand to help our partner to fulfill what God wants them to be. Ask them, what do you want to be career-wise? Is there some height that you want to get to? Discuss about this issue and work hand in hand to achieve this purpose together. Another thing that you need to talk about, and which is a very, very, very sensitive issue, is your past. And this is where some people have been asking a lot of questions about. Should I tell my spouse that whether I'm a virgin or not? It's okay, yes. You can discuss those things. You can ask one another. And there is nothing to be ashamed of. Please, there is nothing to be ashamed of. Okay? You should be able to tell one another everything that happened in your past. No stone unturned, nothing hidden, no surprises. I heard of a story of somebody that the spouse never knew about their past. And just for them to find out many years down the road that this person had a child before, even though the child was no longer alive, but it's still there that they had once mothered a child, been a mother, if once been a mother, and it could also be a man. Maybe you were the father, you were a father, or you were a father, and maybe the kid is in the custody of the mother. It doesn't mean that because the child is not living with you or with your family members, that your spouse to be should not know that you have once had a child. No surprises. No surprises. Tell your spouse, your fiancé, about your past. Talk about them. Talk about it clearly. Things that you've done in the past, maybe not about having a child, talk bad things that you might have done. You've been part of a cult group, you've been part of, I don't know what, a fraternity, whatever it is, please tell your fiancé everything that has happened in your past, everything that your spouse needs to know. Somebody said, well, I'll tell you only what you need to know. No, that's a bad place. That's a bad point of view. That's a bad position, because if you sieve the information and you're only telling your fiancé what they need to know, when they find out more things about you, it will create some issues with trust. And this person will start asking themselves, okay, so how much is he not telling me? That's the most important reason why you need to be very open with your spouse. You need to tell them everything about your past, so that if they find somebody who tells them that, you know, that your husband has been this or that in the past, has been a prostitute, has been an armed robber, used to be part of a gang, they wouldn't be surprised, because you have done what we call disclaimer. Disclaimer, this is me, everything about me, I tell you about it. That is how to live in a life that will give you peace. You'll be able to sleep without being scared that something that is in your cupboard, a skeleton in your cupboard, is going to come out. So please give yourself peace of mind, guys, and be upfront. Tell everything that needs to be told. Everything that has happened, say it. Say it. And some people will say, okay, what if I don't get married to this person and my past is with them? If you're afraid and you really know the will of God, I want to believe that many of us will not have broken courtship. But if you do, yes, God has washed you from all these things, and you're now a new creature. It doesn't matter. In the sight of God, it doesn't matter. So because you're thinking that maybe this relationship is not going to lead to marriage and you decide to hide stuff, that's not a good idea. So please just say it. If you don't get married, I expect that person to behave honorably and not go and spill the information that they got, you know. So let's not, just because of assumptions or thoughts that we don't know what the courtship will lead to, and decide to keep things from one another. Let's not use that as an excuse to stop ourselves from disclosing everything that needs to be disclosed about ourselves during the courtship period. And let there be no secrets between us. We should not have any secrets. All our dreams, all our secrets, everything on the table. Discuss about the attitude of work to this man, and the attitude of work of this man and woman. Some people will say, okay, I don't have enough money right now. but can we just get married? Well, how do you know that this person that is just saying, can we just get married, is going to be a resourceful person? Some people don't have the suitable job for their certificate or for their level of education. But you see that desire to work, that strong responsibility, that responsible path of that person is so evident in the fact that this person is ready to do anything just to have their own food. They don't want to beg anybody. They don't want to be a liability to anybody. And worst of all, they don't want to be a liability to even the person. They're not getting married to you because of how much they're going to get from you financially. Because they're trying their best. They're working with their hands. They're thinking and planning to get things going. Like they're willing to do business, to try things, hoping that one of these things that they're trying is going to work. And then, of course, if you hit for the moon, you might land if you hit for the moon, you might get the stars, or if you hit for the sun, you might get the moon. You have to do something. You have to be doing something. You can't just sit down and just be there and say, I've not gotten a white collar job yet, and I'm still waiting. That's not enough. It's not enough. That's why, please, you need to ask this man, even though he's not working, or maybe there's a very short time between when you're getting married. I'm not saying that you shouldn't get married to a man because for some reason he got laid off and you are already in courtship, or you just started your courtship and he got laid off. That doesn't mean that he wouldn't find a job. No, don't think that way. You can get married, but you should be sure of the purpose of this man. What is his attitude to work? What is his purpose in life? What is his plan? What effort is he or she doing towards getting themselves into the labor market? What is he or she doing towards getting themselves self-employed? What is he or she doing to try to fend for themselves? Those are some of the things that you're looking at. Sometimes that man that you're looking at today that looks like he doesn't have anything turns out to be a great man in the future. Look at him 5 years down the road after you've gotten married, and you'll be like, wow, thank God I was wise. Thank God I was patient. Thank God I had faith. If not, I wouldn't be where I am today, enjoying this much opulence. That is why, my brothers, my sisters especially, do not underrate the days of little beginning. And I'm not in this with this statement encourage brothers to say, yes, she said it all. Now just let's get married. No, I'm still saying ladies have to make sure they are looking closely with a lens, making sure that this man has purpose. This man is trying. If you don't have a job, you can do something. You can sell something. Your wife or your fiancé must come to your home and find you doing something. There is a lot you can do. You can go to farm, you can sell, you can drive Uber, you can, I don't know, you can do night jobs, you can do, start a business online, you can do anything. Try to do something. There's a lot to do. Pray and ask God, and God will lead you on to what to do. There's still a lot to discuss about questions that you should be asking during courtship. Please use your initiative. Ask questions. Any question that bothers you, that you think about, and you have doubts about, ask. And if he doesn't want to answer, please try to get help from your pastor. If you think that this question really needs an answer, you want an answer, you want him to answer, then solicitate the help of a leader over him, a pastor, so that these issues can be trashed. Also, of course, don't forget, discuss about how many children you want to have, so that the man doesn't think that you want to have 10 children and he wants to have 5 children, or he wants to have 10 children and you are thinking of only having 3 children. Please discuss this issue. Very, very, very important. Don't forget to discuss about how many children can we have. Is he okay with cesarean section? Is he okay with medication? Is he okay with birth control? Can you believe I've heard of men who go all the way to drag their wives to the pastor and fight their wife? You have no right to do birth control. You have no right, because the Bible says we should go out and multiply and replenish the earth. And this woman now should now begin to pond, to give birth to those children, to lay them eggs. No, no. Women have, when a woman goes through pregnancy and gives birth to a child, it's a lot of work. Brothers, it's a lot of work. We lose blood. It takes from your energy, it takes from your calcium, it takes from a lot of you is given into the birthing, the pregnancy. That's why women sometimes need to rest. And every woman knows how her body feels. So if your woman says that I can't do more than 3, come to an agreement. Maybe do 4. Or also you can agree to do 3. It's okay. It doesn't matter how many children you have. What matters is how good you train them and what they turn out to be. On this note, I'm going to say thank you so much for coming to watch these videos for learning. Please don't forget to leave your comment in the section, your comment in the comments section below. And remember, we're always praying for you. We want to answer your questions. If you have any questions, feel free to send us personal messages. We will be happy, with the grace of God, to answer all your questions. And any questions that we can't handle, or because maybe it has to be handled locally, we will send you to the right culture or to the right person, or we will have one of our counselors reach out to you. That being said, thank you for coming. Have a lovely day, have a lovely evening, and God bless you. May the Lord give us an answer of peace. Bye. Until next time.